Patreon members, all the subscribers. I want to thank you guys for your support and contributions made to the platform. It really means a lot to me. If you are a new viewer, this is your first time coming across this channel, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, share this video, leave a comment, and check out the links in the description box below. Screen record news review. Hopefully you're watching this on your phone, on your iPad, and you're watching it in portrait mode. All right. Rent-free, RFG. You've been here long enough. You know what that means. Let's get into it. British couple arrested for running counterfeit Xanax scam in Thailand. Now, throughout the course of time, all right, since 2009, I've been living abroad. I first moved to Thailand in 2014, and I was there off and on. So a couple months here, left, came back 2015, lived there for about 4 years. Then I left for 3.5 years, lived in Taiwan. Then I came back to Thailand and lived there for 6 months. All right. I think I like Taiwan. I love the experience that I had there, but I think, I won't say a regret. One of the things I take back, I wish I would have just stayed in Thailand instead of moved to Taiwan for 3.5 years. But that's neither here nor there. All right. Throughout the course of time when I was living in Thailand, I used to see dozens of stories like this in the news all the time where a foreigner will come into Thailand and, you know, you have foreigners that come in and do the right thing. You have some foreigners that come in and do the wrong thing. And some of the things that they do, the activities that they get in, some of them get into, you know, this narcotic manufacturing, right? They go out into the woods and they'll find people that know how to cook up drugs in the woods in Thailand or in the forests, in the outskirts somewhere. You know, they have the capital, they have the money to fund this operation. You know, then they'll hire some people in the village. They'll come around and they'll start cooking up, you know, meth or whatever, whatever narcotic they want to cook up. And they'll either distribute it, you know, in Thailand throughout the nightlife, or they might export it somewhere else. All right. This case, you had two people, British couple, Brian Pitts and Katie Harlow, says right here, are poised to face lengthy prison terms for their roles in orchestrating a counterfeit Xanax operation from their luxury villa in Thailand. Now, if it was counterfeit Xanax, I wonder if it had fentanyl in there, which is very dangerous. All right. The duo allegedly ran a thriving drug empire distributing fake Xanax pills across the dark web for makeshift labs in the West Midlands, UK. Relatives and friends were also implicated in this multi-million-pound scheme, which saw over $4 million, roughly 185 million baht. That's like 5 million and some change US dollars. Maybe 6 worth of counterfeit pills sold online. The bust followed a 5-year investigation led by pharmaceutical giant Pfizer, which found the pills were dangerously mixed with other substances. Okay, so they said that they were distributing fake Xanax pills. Well, they were running a thriving drug empire distributing fake Xanax pills across the dark web from makeshift labs in the West Midlands, UK. So, all right, so I don't know if, you know, it doesn't, you know, they don't really go into details or whatever. I don't know if like they said they were running it from a villa in Thailand somewhere, a luxury villa in Thailand, but I don't know if they were cooking. Maybe they were just there in Thailand because it's a vacation spot. You know, you're able to get away with certain things on the internet, you know, in Thailand because their laws are pretty lax with certain things rather than, you know, roaming the internet a certain way and not covering your tracks in a Western country. All right. They don't really go into detail. There's more. They just talk about everyone who else was, other members in the gang that were getting arrested, and you know, purchasing, the exchange for their product for other things with Bitcoin. Detective Inspector Dave Holliers highlighted the scale of the operation, noting over 2 tons of bulking agents and 220 kilos of active ingredients were purchased by the group. Evidence showed the counterfeit pills had a broad distribution range reaching Europe and America. The gang faces charges of conspiracy to supply Class C drugs, trademark offenses, and money laundering. Sentencing is due, according to reports from Daily Mail UK. Xanax, a powerful, well, we know what Xanax is. All right, so they don't really go into detail on the operation and how they got caught. Maybe there's another article, like the full coverage is on a different website. But here's the thing, man. You have people like this. I'm taking them out of this. I'm taking Brian Pitts and Katie Harlow out of this real quick. You have people like them who will do this kind of shit right here and then get on the internet and they'll have a YouTube channel and act like, hey, I'm going to teach you guys how to become a millionaire like us. And, these are the key steps. These are the books you need to get in order to become a millionaire. Everything is in the books. This is my program right here. Take my course. We're going to have a live seminar over here and teach you guys how to become entrepreneurs like us. And then once you go to some of these little seminars, or you purchase the programs on the internet, or you listen to the YouTube videos, or you follow them on social media, a lot of the content that they give is very vague. And I'm not talking about them in particular. I'm talking about other people like them who are really either scamming or, selling drugs, distributing drugs behind the scenes. And then, in the public eye, they're saying, hey, we're entrepreneurs, this is that and third. And you ask, okay, well, how did you how did you acquire this much fortune? And they give like a real vague answer, right? And everybody's kind of confused. Or they'll say, oh, Forex, right? You have a lot of Forex gurus out there, or sports betting, and some people, they'll teach things that they don't really know, right? They watch a few YouTube videos themselves, and then they just approach the internet as if they're an expert. But people, there's an appeal to people like that because they can show you trinkets. Like, hey, look at my villa, right? Look at my villa, look at my cars. We travel all over the world, right? So how could we be lying? This is successful. This is a successful market over here. We're going to teach you how to tap into this market and become rich like us. We've already made our money. Now we just want to pay it forward. And I'm not saying they did that. I don't know what they did, but there are quite a few people on the internet that do that, but they get involved in stuff like this. All right. There are people who roam the streets in Thailand and they're teaching English, and it's like, man, they're looking over to their left, they're looking over to a right. They could be at a cafe relaxing on their days off, and they'll see somebody on their computer, dressed nice or whatever. And, you might spark up a conversation. And then it's kind of like, okay, what school you teach at? Like, teach? What are you talking about? Oh, you're not a teacher? No. I'm in tech. I'm in tech. And there's some people that are really in tech living abroad, but there's some people out there that are criminals. And it makes, it does one or two things. It make you want to look more into that field as well. There's a hunger that's there, and you want to satisfy the hunger. You want to quench that thirst. And it's like, wow, if this person can make it out here in tech, I could do it too. I need to get on the ball and do it too, right? And you're chasing after somebody else's dream, not necessarily your dream. It could be your dream, but it's a dream that's made up, right? You're chasing after somebody else's dream and they're lying about their dream, right? Um, it kind of, sometimes it could get somebody discouraged to see like, wow, I'm seeing this person. And there's some people they're LinkedIn level, right? Okay, wow, this person owns a bar. This person owns this. This person owns that. This person's invested this much money in the property abroad. This person's on an elite visa. What's an elite visa? It's a visa where like you pay a certain amount of money and like you pay a certain amount of money and it grants you like unlimited access into the country and you can stay there as long as you want and you just have to pay a certain or within that time duration of the amount of money you spent, that however much that there's different levels of the elite visa. So if you get like a gold elite visa, whatever, it might give you, hey, you pay, if you pay this much, $10,000-$20,000, then we'll give you this elite visa, and then you can stay here in Thailand for 5 years, stuff like that. And you see people, you talk with people, you ask them what they do, and sometimes people don't, it's kind of, there's people who they have the ego, and they're being honest, right? They are being honest, but there's some people's like, no, English teacher, no, I could never do that. I met some people overseas, actually in Chiang Mai. I met 2 people in Chiang Mai that were, they were not English teachers. They said they were not English teachers. I met them in person, but they were selling all these courses on the internet. And, they were like, hey man, look behind me. I'm out here on my deck and behind me is the pool. And man, I live in a life of luxury every single day in Thailand. And I could teach you these steps on how to do this too. And when I met up with these people, and it's no disrespect, I don't measure a person's morals and ethics and values by how much money they have. Right? I don't measure somebody's character by the amount of money they make. Right? I measure them by their morals, ethics, and value. I think I messed that up there. I don't measure your character by how much money you make. I measure you by your morals, ethics, and values. All right? It doesn't matter how much money you got. Right? But when I met them in person, they were barely scraping by when I met them, right? And one of them had to move back to America. The other one, he stuck around there, refused to teach English, and then, he eventually moved in with somebody who was making good money. They were living together, and then he was doing like online fitness, right? Kind of like, how you don't have to join a gym, like, to join a yoga studio in order to do yoga. You could just do it from your home with a mat. And then, you could follow certain classes through an app or YouTube videos. That's what he was doing for money. And eventually, years later, but in the beginning, when I first met them two, they were flat broke. They would invite me out, would say, hey, meet us over here at this time. On the, I'm like, okay, cool. And then when I text them like, hey, I'm here, I would end up running into them in person, and then literally while we're hanging out hours later, they would finally get the text message from me that I sent to them, right? So you have some people, they go the legit route, whether it be teaching English or other things, or they get into crime and they're still out and about in the limelight. They're using that money to fund their lifestyle. Some of them are in the public eye. Some of them are, they end up using that money, marrying somebody and then owning a business, right? And laundering that money, washing that money clean. as you see here in the article, you see a lot of, quite a few people, and I won't say a lot, quite a few people who do that overseas. And some people I ask when I'm like, hey, when we're having a conversation and I find out they don't teach English, right? Then you ask them what they do. Some of the answers you get is kind of suspicious, right? Like, what are they involved in? So, be careful when you travel abroad. If something doesn't seem right, something doesn't sound right, just get away from that person. I remember real quick, there was a guy, he had like a storefront, and all he sold was meat, right? On Succumbit Road, like that main strip Succumbit. And he would sell meat to many different luxurious restaurants all throughout like Bangkok. Like he would sell meat to different restaurants in like Icon Siam, Siam Paragon, M Quartier, Central World, stuff like that. And he was doing something shady behind the scenes, and this guy who was well known, right? Well known, well respected in that world, in that line of business. Like you're selling meat to restaurants who need meat, right? And high end restaurants and high end malls. A lot of people know you. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the government knows who this person was. Ends up getting into a shootout with somebody he was doing shady business with. You're not even supposed to have guns. Foreigners aren't even supposed to have guns in the country. Got into some shootout. I think he got killed. His wife got killed. Right? Well, I should have said on the live, but it was crazy. You never know who these people that, their face card is seen not only in the media, but just social media and just amongst a certain elite crowd, in the public eye out there in Thailand. You never know what they're doing behind the scenes or how they got there. You never know. That's anywhere, but especially in Thailand, man. This guy was just out here. It's like, hey, I'm a top tier butcher who sells to luxurious, or 5-star restaurants, 4-star restaurants. Like, damn, everybody knows him, right? Well, everybody in the restaurant industry knows him. Bam, gets into a shootout with another foreigner. You end up getting unalived. Your wife ends up getting unalived. And it's like, damn, who was this guy really? What was he really involved in? What was that about? But I'm going on and on about this. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video. See you on the next one. Peace.